Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about Saturn, because Saturn's about to shift some energy by February 17th. It's going to change the nakshatra it's in. But now I want to talk about where it is till the 17th of February and how Saturn is the focus of all the other planets. Saturn, by the fact that it's being in Capricorn, really does emit the focus of all the planets right now. But before I move on, let me remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter, which will deliver all of my predictions to your email address weekly. So go to galacticcenter.org, and remember while you're there to check out my beautiful spiritual jewelry of malas and earrings that remind us of our spiritual path. So let me get on with talking about the power of Saturn right now, because as I said, it is the focal point of all the planets in the heavens right now, even the outer planets, because you see, when you follow along with their dispositors, such as Venus and Mars, while they are in Sagittarius, that dispositing planet is Jupiter. But when you go to Jupiter, by the fact that it's transiting right now in Aquarius, well, Aquarius in the Vedic system, we use the old rulerships, is ruled by Saturn. So you see, all the planets are focaling down to the point of where they're connecting to Saturn. So Saturn is the heart and the soul of everything that's going on right now. It is Saturn in Capricorn. So what does Saturn in Capricorn really mean? And when a planet is in its own sign of rulership, it is extraordinarily powerful. So Saturn is the planet that rules discipline, focus, structure, government, rules. It also rules everything to do with our energy in terms of being focused and disciplined. We need Saturn. It rules organization, and it has so much to do with keeping us in line, all the rules. But let me just say, Saturn, by its fact of being the final dispositing planet of all the planets, meaning all the planets focal into Saturn, that this is the core and the essence of what's going on. And it actually does represent government controls over the people, and that there needs to be order. And yes, there's been chaos around the world. We need this powerful Saturn right now to take charge, to be in control, to help us see where things need to be readjusted and organized, because everything's out of control. So the Saturn has power, and it's going to give us focus. Remember, if you have a good Saturn in your chart, there's two things that I believe will happen in your life. One thing is the second part of your life is always better. And remember, Saturn is the taskmaster. It deals with karma. It gives us our just rewards. So remember, if you have worked hard and you have been true to yourself and true to others and hardworking, determined, persistent, and disciplined, all qualities of Saturn, you will be rewarded. And usually it comes in the second part of life. So all the constraints and the structure and order that Saturn is trying to bring to the world will be rewarded at some point. It has to be. Saturn is so powerful right now. Now let me explain. As I said, on the 17th of February, Saturn's going to change nakshatras. Remember that there's 30 degrees to a sign, so Saturn's been in Capricorn for quite some time. As a matter of fact, Saturn stays in a sign for 2.5 years. And in April, it's about to change from Capricorn to Aquarius. And Saturn will enter Aquarius April 28th of 2022. But let me give you the little lowdown of how it's going to be, because it doesn't stay in Aquarius. It goes in, it goes out, and then it'll go back in. So let me give you an idea before we talk about the Nakshatras of how long Saturn will be going back and forth between Capricorn and Aquarius. And I'll explain what that means for us all. So first, by April 28th, Saturn's going to go into Aquarius. And then by July 14th, it's going to go back in Capricorn till the end of the year. So it's going to be back in Capricorn from July 14th till January 16th of 2023. And then by January 16th of 2023, it will remain in Aquarius for the next 2 years. Because remember, it stays in a year for 2.5, and it will have already been in the sign of Aquarius this year for 6 months, about, not quite, but almost. So if it's there for 2.5 years, then once it finally enters in January, it will be there for about a little bit over 2 years. What does that mean, shifting from Capricorn to Aquarius? Capricorn is about government rule and controls. It's about leadership, and it is about everything to do with governments around the world and how they organize and control and give structures to their countries. Now, everything's been out of control, so at the end of this, hopefully Saturn can wrap it up and bring more organization to the world. But it's like shifting back and forth, so it's like it can't make up its mind. But what does it mean when it's going to shift into Aquarius? Aquarius is the sign of humanity, and it deals with the people. So Saturn going towards this will take the power away from what? Government controls to the people. This is a positive thing. And you're going to see people fighting back for freedom. Absolute freedom while Saturn is in Aquarius. And it's people coming together as groups and organizations to create these changes that the people, humanity, crave and need all together. So you're going to see between July through the first part of January, this striving for people to be released from government controls. Because Saturn, even though we talk about it being good in Capricorn, it gives too much power to the governments. The government's control and manipulation. Saturn is so strong in this sign, and the governments have been controlling the masses and the people, and nobody likes it. The people are going to fight back when Saturn goes into Aquarius and take their control back. The masses, the people. There'll be more organizations and humanitarian groups that bring people together again, because people have been so separate for so long. Saturn is separation, and Saturn is old. It's the elderly. And you'll see a transformation from people in government from being so much older to younger as the people asked for their freedoms. So you're going to see a big change in this. So let's talk a little bit about the Nakshatras, because this is really important. So Saturn has been in the Nakshatra Shravana. Shravana it's in Capricorn, and it is ruled by the moon. It's a high degree of sensitivity, and it does deal with listening. So the people are wanting to be heard during this time. It is the listener. It's the star that deals with listening. Okay, so here it's about to shift, and it's a highly sensitive nakshatra, Shravana, because it's ruled by the moon. But now we have Saturn. On the 17th of February, is going to go into the nakshatra called Dinishta. And Dinishta, actually, it's saying is the richest one, because Dinishta does deal with money, wealth, material things, providing for material things, but it actually is a nakshatra of abundance. So Saturn being here, there's going to be more of a focus to the world in terms of business, focus in business. And Dinishta, see the 27 nakshatras, there's 27 of them, smaller portions of the zodiac, each 13 degrees 20 minutes, 27 of these portions in the heavens. And their meanings really are derived from the stars. This is beautiful. And in Indian astrology, there's a symbol for each nakshatra. As Shravana's symbol is an ear, Dinishta's symbol is a drum. And this represents, it's actually called the star of symphony. Many people with this nakshatra strong can be involved in music in some way, or the drum represents timing, being at the right place at the right time and having rhythm. It's like being in connection to the rhythm, the beat of the world, really. That's what I'll say. But you know, this nakshatra, it deals a lot with money, wealth, and prosperity, which is what we're going to need, especially with an aspect that I see happening. Let me go ahead and state this one. This aspect is going to happen April 4th, and that's going to be when Mars and Saturn conjoin at 28 degrees of Capricorn. This is a tough aspect. When you get these two planets, two first-rate malefic planets together, they are at odds. They cause setbacks and delays. And I see probably a major shift in the stock market at this day. But don't worry. It's not going to stay down. I say this because the Jupiter conjunct Neptune and Venus are about to happen towards the end of April, which, yes, there'll be a big downward cycle that will come back. Watch and see. So, but with that, everyone's going to be afraid. Putting those two first-rate malefics together is going to be a downer for the world, trust me. And when is that again? April 4th. But let's talk more about this nakshatra, Dinishta. Its symbol is a drum. And what does a drum represent? It's hollow, it's empty, and people are feeling a sense of emptiness. Now, how long will Saturn be in this nakshatra, Dinishta? So, as I said, it's going to enter into a Dinishta February 17th, and it will remain there till March 13th of 2023. You see, Dinishta is also, it not only is in the sign of Capricorn, but it flanks into Aquarius as well. So by March 13th of 2023, Saturn will shift out of Dinishta and it will move into the nakshatra of Shatabhishak. Now, I will keep you posted with that one. That's a really, really intense nakshatra ruled by Rahu. But we're going to talk about that later. Let's focus on what we have going now, Dinishta, because it does deal with the material plane. And the deities that rule Dinishta are the 8 Vasas, and they represent abundance, and they mean the material plane and light. They are the deities that means light, very benefic. But what's interesting, because Dinishta means the richest one, and because Dinishta is ruled by Mars, did you know that Mars is the indicator in Vedic astrology for real estate? Yes, real estate. And I think Saturn being in an earth sign going into this nakshatra is going to bring wealth and prosperity. And it's in real estate. This is where I suggest you invest. Real estate is the way to go, because this is going to empower it. And I know a lot of you are concerned because prices keep going up, 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 and you can't afford a home anymore. So something's going to change here. Maybe opportunities to buy property. Maybe the government will help out because we need help. But real estate will be the best investment during the entire time that. So if you can invest in real estate, now's the time. Because when Saturn is in Dinishta, it will be stronger and more valuable. You'll be glad you did. Now, Saturn will continue to be the focal point of all the planets. And this is serious. This is a focus. Saturn is serious. It means business. And it does rule business. So what's happening is the markets, the governments are trying to bring business back in the world. This is what makes the world go round. Business. And this is going to be the focal point, rebuilding businesses, rebuilding the economy through giving businesses more and more opportunity. That's what needs the power. And that's what Saturn should do the whole time. It's in really both signs, Capricorn and Aquarius, because Saturn even rules Aquarius. And so we're looking at this for the next 2.5 years, that Saturn will be in a Saturn-ruled sign. So it's going to bring structure and organization, power and business back to the world. Everything's cyclic. Now it's time to get it all back. But let me explain something very, very interesting. When Jupiter leaves Aquarius, which will be April 13th, Saturn will no longer be the focal point of all the planets, because then you have Jupiter in its own sign, Pisces, and therefore a lot of the other planets are going to start focusing to Jupiter, and that's going to bring optimism back in the world when Jupiter goes into the sign of Pisces. Jupiter will be in the sign of Pisces April 13th of 2022 till April of 2023. And it will be dispositor for many of the planets for a long time to come, especially when Venus goes into Pisces, which will be in April and May. And Venus is exalted there, so get ready. Things will get better, even though right now it's looking pretty bleak and pretty dark, especially right now in February, while Saturn is the focal point, making everything so serious. I mean, Saturn makes you think about everything that is serious. It's not a lot of fun. When you go through a Saturn transit, it makes you get your stuff together, makes you serious, you become more disciplined and focused. It's not a lot of fun, I got to tell you, but it pays off, because when you're focused, when you work hard, then you can play hard. So that's where I'm going to leave you. Saturn is our focus now, and that's why everything's so darn serious. But better times are on the forefront, because Jupiter moving into Pisces will lighten everything up, starting towards the halfway mark through April and on through the rest of the year. Even though we're going to have a lot of strife and other things to work on, at least there won't be this depressed mood that Saturn's creating around the world. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me, you can always go to my website, sign up for my free newsletter, which is galacticcenter.org. And then if you want to study with me, study Vedic astrology with me, go to my university website, which is University of VedicAstrology.com. Thank you.